I just came back in the body and I didn't even want to wait to share this. I just spent a lot of time sobbing. So let me get right to it. I decided to practice today. My regular practice, I don't use any frequencies. I just lay down straight and I put a pillow under my knees, and I don't lay just my head on the pillow for the neck and the shoulders to be on the same. And I was there in my couch. I never experienced sleep paralysis before until tonight. Almost like I couldn't breathe, but I could. I would calm down, and that kind of like brought me back. And something about the OBE is that, at least in my experiences, I don't have to stay stiff there the whole time. That's just me. When you're sleeping, you move naturally. For the people in the comments that are having trouble coming out, it's okay to readjust your body. When you don't want to move is when you're in between. But if your body's asleep, your body moves and readjusts through the. It's the mind that needs to stay aware while the body falls asleep. And I don't know how that happens, honestly. And I like knowing how things work. And when I came back from the OBE that I'm about to tell you, I felt like I didn't know that. I was like, how does all this happen? I was just thinking about it. I kept feeling that I was about to come out, but I was kind of like in between. So it was like really light sleep, but I could hear my daughter, like the annoying daddy, like daddy, 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 daddy. I kind of like pushed out to tell her to stop. So I went like that, stop, but I couldn't move. So I felt the motion and me saying stop, but it didn't happen in the body. I was just in paralysis. I didn't come back I didn't pop in the way I usually do. It was more like it took me a little bit to be like, oh, but because I remember being there in paralysis. Like, I'm like, oh shit, and I got excited because I never experienced that heavy of a sleep paralysis. It's early in the morning. It's 6 in the morning right now, and I started around 3:20. So all of this happened in a span of a couple 3 hours. In between, a lot of in between. Like, I felt myself coming out, but I would just come in the body and I readjust, and I look in the room. I'm like, okay, I'm still here. But the interesting thing is that when I went to tell Ivy, I'm doing this video right now because I thought about all of y'all. That's what's crazy. So sorry, this just happened. But when I went to tell Ivy to stop, like when I went like to reach out to her, she like the room was a little different. Like I thought I was in a different direction and it looked a little different. I know that it was me out of the body because that something wasn't letting me go to sleep so that I could experience what I'm about to tell you. I don't use no frequencies, it's just the headphones. So, and I cover myself so that so that the temperature is comfortable. I have water next to me and I drink a couple sips before, I try to stay hydrated. So I adjust a little to the side, and all of a sudden I feel myself going, right? I'm like, oh, I got new, and I started getting excited. So I just calm myself down because I need to do that a lot because I get so excited for what's to come. I calm myself down and I take a couple deep breaths, and all of a sudden I'm in front of someone. And this person is just sitting there. I don't know who it is, and I don't even think it was another human. And I'm sitting there, and there's a window there, and it's like it looks, I want to say it was like also a big hall. So it was a place of wisdom. So I don't know where I was. I'm not Darius that have everything mapped out already. I'm just, I find myself in these different places. When I look to the side, there's a window and there's something happening out there. So I'm curious and I go look and I'm like, oh, I gotta see that. It was somebody on a ledge. It was like a couple a couple guys were like doing something on a pretty thick ledge, but it was like big opening there. It looked almost like a city. I come out the room. There's a door there, so I go try to open it. Like I grab it, and I can't open it. And all of a sudden, I see some keys that come into my view, and and I grab them. No, he said, "You want? Hey, do you want these?" It was the sweetest of voices. It's like, "You want these?" And the keys come into my view, some pretty keys, but and I looked, I take the keys, and when I looked, it was my uncle, and my uncle's getting old. I don't even know if I haven't spoken to him. I spoke to him last year, but he's not all the way there, so I don't know if he's okay right now. Well, he's okay because he looked younger, and as soon as and I was confused. Like all of a sudden, I was confused. I'm like, "What are you doing here?" You know what I mean? And he didn't look. He looked a lot younger, and we just hugged like so hard. And the love that I have never. I remember when I was a little kid. He used to squeeze the crap out of me. He used to squeeze me so hard. He's big and burst. To me, he was like a beast of a man, and I love seeing him without a shirt on because his muscles. He looked like strong, and everybody say that I have my uncle's physique, and like burly, and then he was hairy too, and I just saw, to hug me, and I remember I used to love his hugs, and because he squeezed me hard, but it was just so loving and hard. I used to love that, and and it made me laugh, but when we hugged, it was the same, but it was 1,000 times the love. It was so much that it overwhelmed me, and I was back in my body. But the weird thing is that when I fell in my body, I was water. I was there like so I get up whenever I fall in my body, that I'm in the room. I'm like, what the just happened? I sit up because I was very confused when my uncle showed up. When I saw him and I knew it was him, he wasn't moving fast at all. He was just moving like very slowly, but he looked younger. Like he had black hair. I know it was Tio Paco, and I don't know if he's okay. It's too early to call. I'm gonna call as soon as 8 o'clock hit to make sure that he's still here. But if not, I'm gonna miss him a lot. So when I got up, I was so confused. So I'm back in the living room, and I sit up, and I was moving like water. You don't understand. Like I felt myself like water ripples, and it was still feeling delicious. But then I went I didn't know what to do, so I just sat there for a minute feeling that, and it was like I was a little, but I was still had that love. I was loopy, not drunk. I was kind of loopy, and I felt like water, like ripples. I was like when you throw a rock in the water. I felt like those little ripples, and so I sat there and I thought about how it because I was just so in between all night and having the sleep paralysis. I'm like, how is it that we do this? Like, what's going on? Because I'm thinking, if the body's here and the soul is coming in, like it's in between, how come my door I could, and I can I'm almost sure that it was my my guide imitating Ivy's voice, because I'm like, it sounded just like my daughter, but it wasn't my daughter. It's saying, "Daddy, daddy, daddy, daddy." It wouldn't let me go to sleep. As soon as I because I fall asleep a lot because I'm tired. I do a lot of things throughout the day. I was building a shed out there. In the morning, I was driving around all over God's earth, and I have two little kids that I play with, and I have my other my other kid want me to do stuff with, and then and life and feeding and cooking. Anyways, I was super tired, so it's okay to fall asleep when you're practicing. It's just life. But I do fall asleep a lot. If I don't fall asleep, I'm going out, or I'm gonna have an awesome experience feeling that. And a lot of times I just start coming out and I get so excited. But the problem was too, just peep this, and this might help you in your practice. The problem with me is that once I got, like, I was almost about to leave the body, and I felt back, like I allowed frustration to to get in the way. I'm like, damn, like I ain't gonna be able to do it. I just spent 2 hours, 3 hours, an hour, like here, stiff, not moving. And I let go of all that. Like I readjust if I have to. Like I just lay back down and practice on my side, or actually when I came out, I was laying like this, but my one leg was on top of the couch, on top of the cushions, and then my other leg was just on the couch too. So I was like one leg to this side and the other leg on the couch bent. So I was just comfortable in that position, and I just exit like that. So the position is important, that you keep, that you don't wake up the body when you feel certain sensations like itchiness and pains. Like you just gotta really write it out. But then I think you get to a point where you have a little access to more. Like you start learning how it feels, and you're okay with. But I still get so excited. That's my biggest hurdle, is that I really get excited while I'm thinking, sitting there and thinking about the experience. I'm like, I got to tell all these people that want to know how to, how the process works, and people that are having challenges in coming out. You will experience the other side, and that love that I felt, I understand, because we came here to experience that which we are not. Love in here is so diluted. Let's put it like that. The amount of unconditional love that is felt on the other side, we don't get to feel it here. I hope that you and we make it our business to allow that unconditional love to flow out by the boatloads, like opening. You see how I go like this? Because we let it trickle out, like sparingly. At least me, like I didn't realize how stingy I am with my love. And if you know the people around me, they will not agree with that. There is so much of that energy that is it was so overwhelming that it brought me back, and I was still like loopy and tingly, and it was just such a phenomenal feeling when I sat there. And when my uncle was hugging me, it was crazy. Like it was like it knocked me back into my body. It was that almost unbearable. It was so intense. And I think that I have been just letting it trickle out, and I have to And again, like I said, if you know the people around me, they'll tell you I'm like I do this love life. Even so, I feel like there's so little that I have been putting out because of how much is available for us to, and it's such a strong, powerful energy, but it's so light at the same time. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm making a commitment to be even more loving, more kinder to people, because that experience was like, wow, like it's all of this available. Like I have never experienced in this awareness, even coming out the body. It's amazing. It's like oh my God, like home. It's everything, right? But that hug and that flow of energy, pure love energy, was like, whoa, that tapped it all off. And wow, like if we can muster the understanding, if we can get to the understanding on how to do that, like earth is going to be so much different. Earth will experience healing, because right now we we have a flow of energy that comes out of us like that. Life is an exchange of energy. Right now we use words and body language and all that to process those energies, but there's a field that is wider and narrower in different people. All of our emotions are connected in some way to the earth because of gravity. Like we are being pulled to earth. So we stuck to earth, and not only stuck to it, but we're being pulled down. So that energy flow, earth is pulling it out of us as well. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I got. And then I started thinking about, so what am I putting out that earth is getting from me? Like we get everything from this place. Think about it. We get everything from this earth. We get the oxygen that keeps us alive, the water that keeps us hydrated and alive, the food that keeps us nourished and alive. Everything that we get is hers. It comes out of, we had no part on the making of any of those things I talked about. So we are receiving from this place. And I'm like, what am I giving back to it? I want that when gravity pulls down on my body and therefore my energy, I want earth to feel happy that I'm here. That makes sense. Like I'm doing it to the best of my ability, but this experience just transformed me, and I couldn't wait to share it with you. I'm in my I'm in my little robe. Wow. So I hope that I get to hug him again and then get that big burly hug. Really felt that I would miss him a lot, but that's part of life. But if you have somebody that you need, get back in touch with, do it. It's easier to reconnect with old friends than make new friends. And relationships are everything. That when we go to the other side, what we're gonna see is how we make others feel, and how whenever you go to the books, I like I said, I like watching the near death experiences, and most of them say that. Even I heard Darius talking about how when you see an event, I still haven't been to the records or anything like that where you get to see events on these books and you experience what that person was experiencing at the time, what you're experiencing at the time. You can see it from the outside. Make people feel good. Go out there and find someone that you can make feel really, really good, and you feel really, really good while doing it. Call an old friend. It's somebody that you just lost touch with and you've been thinking about them. Give them a call. Like, make them laugh. Bring a good memory to them. Actually, I'm calling my cousin today. We haven't talked in a couple months, So I'm gonna call him today. I miss him. He's funny. He makes me laugh. I make him laugh. Do the same. If no one told you that they love you, I love you. I mean that. Like, I love you. I want this love to get right all the way, to stretch out from me all the way to you and beyond. You know, go do some good. Go love on somebody. Go reach out to somebody that you haven't met in a long time, and that's going to increase that love frequency that will give you access to all these beautiful places. I truly believe that the approach, the best approach to the outer body experience in this, you know, lighter energy experiences is unconditional love. Your heart has to be in the right place. The foundation of your decision making has to match who you truly are. Who you truly are is that hug that my uncle gave me today. So deep. Who you truly are is that fearlessness, that when you're standing with that beast rushing you, once he sat there, I was good. But I think the most important experience that we can have is the in-body experience. In this body experience, because this is where we are. And when we refine when we get good at living this life, then you can peep into the other. Like, and again, there's no specific order in which you experience life. That's just the way I have experienced life. I've been getting access to more abundant experiences. You know, I'm not talking about what this world called abundance, but transforming a frown into a smile, to me, that's worth $1 million. And I strive to do that. Setting your feet on that understanding of, I'm going to be kind, I'm going to be a good friend, I'm going to be more patient and more tolerant to others. That's your true nature. So the more you match it here on earth, the more access you have to peek to the other side. You're going there, well, I'm going there, we're all going there. We're just curious because we miss home and we want more knowledge. But all that comes, you can access the only way you're gonna access it is from here. Like, you're here, you know. Or if you die, then it's different. But if you're here and you want to have outer body experiences, like, match it. You know, that makes sense to me. You know, that's number one. Match the energy signature. You can't cheat it. That's why match that energy signature and you'll be all right. And just don't be so, to answer a question from the comments, don't be so tight and about it. I readjust. I just got to the point where, you know what, this is uncomfortable. You know, I'm not enjoying the practice. I'm gonna readjust. And so I was in between a lot, but I came out, and it was a phenomenal experience. Just be you. Be the true you. The one that's open and vulnerable to take life as it comes. Nothing can harm you if you don't allow it. On the other side or this side, like, let them shoot. Let them shoot. You will be okay. You will be stronger. That doesn't mean that you're a sucker, that people walk all over you. No, that's not what it means. It means that when you have to say something to somebody, you look at them in the eye and you tell them with love. It means that you have the ability to stay quiet. It means that if you feel like painting, like singing, like writing music, like writing, like letting loose, like, just, you know, this brain is such a powerful machine, but at the same time is is such a disservice to the soul, and not the brain, but what the brain has picked up on earth. If we learn how to bypass the brain, it has believed so much that we are not, that we don't get to see who we truly are. And it's just, it's frustrating. But I'm doing something about it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Enjoy life to the fullest. Don't let this brain and its limitations to tell you what not to do. If your soul wants to sing in the middle of the mall when everybody's walking, do it. If you want to, like, go hug somebody hard, ask them, like, do you need a hug? Like, go give a hug to somebody. That's what we are here to do, to make someone's life a little better. And that's what you are going to encounter when you go onto the other side and you get to see your whole life. That's going to be the two things you're going to look at. The times where you made others feel bad, and the times where you didn't and you made someone else's life better. I'm done. Thank you so much for listening. If no one told you that they love you, I love you. I love you. It's so hard. Like, I just keep on growing, keep on practicing the in-body state and the outer body state. They're both beautiful. They're both you. It's just that the brain don't let us see everything that we are. But I love you. Stay safe.